Hey, what's up guys? Giancarlo here from GC3 Fitness, and in today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 exercises you can start doing right now to start working on what we call the butt muscles. Damn, I guess I've been doing something right. Let's go. All right guys, so on to exercise 1, and the most common exercise I see is the barbell back squat, right? So if you have access to a barbell or at a global gym, right, what you wanna do is place yourself under a bar, right? So you wanna make sure that when you set up the barbell, right, it's not too high, but it's not too low, right? It's slightly under the shoulders. Why? So you don't have to tippy-toe your way towards the bar. You wanna slightly get yourself under the bar. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a few reps and then we'll go over it. Good, so notice my hand placement was not too wide, not too narrow, right outside shoulder width. My elbows were pointed down, my core was nice and tight, there was not any rounding, my back was nice and straight, right? The movement, the most important part was the movement started at my hip, all right? So a great exercise to start right before your back squat is a regular air squat. So what you wanna do is tap your hips, right? Hips go back and up, right? Knees don't drive this movement, it's my hips. So hips go back, down, and up, right? A great exercise in case you don't want to do a barbell back squat or you don't have access to a barbell at a global gym or a regular barbell, then what you can do is what's called a goblet squat. So you can grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell. In this case here, give you a side view. Keep it close to the body, not away from you. Close to the body, same thing, hips go back, down and up, hips go back, right? Let those knees stay out and up. All right, guys, that's the barbell back squat. On to exercise 2. All right, guys, so for exercise 2, you're gonna need a barbell and a bench, all right? This movement is called the barbell glute bridge. The movement says it in the exercise, all right? Glute. So what you're gonna need is this barbell, which you're gonna place at your hip, okay? This bench, if you don't have a bench, you can use a box, but you'd want to use a bench. Why? Because you want some type of cushion, because it's going to be on your back. All right, so let's give you some reps. So notice that the movement is being driven by the heels. Heels are on the ground. I'm squeezing up top, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the hamstrings. Right, my upper back is on the bench. Hip goes down, barbell goes down, and I squeeze up top. Okay. Typically there's weight on the barbell, so it's a lot easier to roll off and onto the hip. But as for right now, I'm just using the barbell. One of the biggest mistakes I typically see is placing the barbell at the hip and your back way too much on the bench. All right, so what you want to do is make sure that your slightly upper back is on it to where your elbows are slightly on the bench, not too much, because then you can't really move. All right, this exercise really targets the glutes and the hamstrings. An alternative you can do if you don't have access to a barbell, or if you just don't want to use a barbell, is a regular glute bridge on the bench, or even a single leg. Or if you want to use still weighted, you can use an actual dumbbell and place it at the hip. So for example, no weight, up, down and up, single leg, lift one leg, down, drive with the heel, up, down and up. If you have a dumbbell, you place it at the hip, same thing. Up, single leg, down and up. That was like 4 exercises in one. All right, guys, on to exercise 3. All right, so as for exercise 3, we're gonna do what's called an assisted RDL, right? Assisted single leg RDL. So what you need is a rig or something to grab on, right? Because that's where the assisted part comes in. And as for weight, you can either grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell, or even no weight just to start off, all right? So assisted, right, I'm grabbing onto this wall. I'm using this rig. So from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna lead with the kettlebell, all right, or with your dumbbell, as the same arm, same leg, all right, as this leg goes back, right, I'm going down, making sure my back stays nice and tight, slight bend at the knee, down and up. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a few reps. Good. So the reason why it's assisted is because this exercise is actually a lot challenging, a lot more challenging than what it looks like, right? And without an actual assistance, it's a lot of balance required, and not a lot of people can do it. So this way, everyone can perform it, and the beauty with the assisted part is you can actually go a lot heavier, right? Because you have something to grab onto. So, like I said, you can use a kettlebell or a dumbbell. The main focus is that the core is nice and tight. Just like every exercise that we're doing here, the movement starts at the hip, so make sure hip goes back, all right? Making sure that this leg is slightly bent, right? Opposite leg is just slightly bent. You're gonna feel the tension on your hamstrings and mainly on that glute. You're gonna feel that nice stretch, right? Right as you're down here, that back should be nice and straight. You don't wanna round your back nice and flat, right? If you were to have a plate on your back, it should not fall, right? So as you're down here, nice and flat and up. All right, guys, so on to exercise 4. All right, so as for exercise 4, and one of my favorite exercises, why? Because it's simple and effective, and all you need is a wall. And I'm pretty sure you haven't heard of this exercise, right? And it's called a wall lift. All right, so what you wanna do is get yourself against the wall, all right? You wanna stand about fist distance from the wall, not too wide, right? Not too close wide, because you're gonna bring your knee up, and you're gonna wanna actually lift your pelvis, right? You lift your hip to where your hip and knee touch at the same time. If you're too wide, you're gonna find yourself crashing and not feeling it where you actually should be. And if you're too close, then, well, can't really move, right? So you wanna be, like I said, fist distance from the wall, knee up to about parallel. Well, I'm gonna give you a couple reps here. Hip and knee touch the wall at the same time. Drop back to neutral, right? So you can see the exaggeration on my hip, right? So really exaggerate the movement. So you're gonna go up, hip and knee touch, drop the pelvis, hip and knee touch at the same time, drop the pelvis. Notice this leg is nice and straight, up and down, right? So you're really gonna feel right here, right on that glute medius, right? You're gonna feel that burn on your glutes, right? Which is what you want. So obviously there's no weight. This is something that you should end your workouts with, 2 to 3 sets of anywhere from 8, 12 to 15 reps. To really strengthen that glute medius, right? Help strengthen that lower back, right? So just one more time. Remember, fist distance from the wall, hand at the hip, exaggerate the movement. Hip and knee touch, drop. You should be able to tell the rotation, right? The lift off of the hip, up and down of the pelvis, okay? So that was exercise 4. Now we're going on to the last one and my favorite one, exercise 5. Let's go. All right, guys, so as for exercise 5 and my favorite exercise, if you follow me on my social media at GC3 Fitness, you know that I have a love and hate relationship on what we call the Bulgarian split squat. All right, so what you're gonna need is a bench or a box, right? Something not too high nor too low, something right below your knee, all right? What you're gonna do is you're gonna stagger out into a lunge position, right? You're gonna place your back foot on that box or that bench, right? You wanna be able to put your ankle more so, right? So it has free space to move around. If you put your shin and you're too wide, then you can't really lunge down. And if you're on your toes, then there's a good chance and they're probably gonna fall off, right? So you wanna have your ankle, okay, your ankle on that box or that bench. You stagger out in that lunge position, core is nice and tight, just like every exercise we've done today. Movement starts at the hip, that back leg is gonna cut straight down, right? You're going down and up, right? Focus on that knee, not passing that toe, right? Driving, as you go down, driving with the heel, down, whoa. Find your balance, right? Down and up. So if you have access to some dumbbells or kettlebells and want to add more weight, then what you do is you have those by your side, all right? Same thing, by your side, back foot, down and up, right? So being that it is on a box, it is a lot more balance required, right? You can still do stationary lunges, forward lunges, reverse lunges, but this exercise, being that that back foot is elevated, puts a lot of pressure on those glutes and quads, so you're gonna get to feel that, right? This is why this is one of my favorite exercises. If there's any exercises out of the 5 that I recommend that I feel like has been the most powerful and I have seen personally the most results with, is the Bulgarian split squat, right? Give it a try if you haven't done it, and if you've tried it, you know that these burn, your heart rate starts to go up, your glutes, your quads starts to fire up, all right? So that is the 5 lower body glute exercises I have for you today. This concludes my video. If you liked it, make sure to shoot me with a like, subscribe, send a friend, family member, send them my way, right? Shoot them to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at GC3Fitness. If you have any questions or concerns, any specific topics you want me to talk about, make sure to comment below. As for now, remember every single Monday I post a brand new video. Catch you next week.
You getting stuck, I see feet in the mud. You have been caught in the flood. While the water isn't parted, we run, we put you soda.